The boardroom went silent. Not the good kind. The kind where grown men in $10,000 suits stop breathing because one wrong word means career suicide. Ethan Kong had just fired 200 people with the emotional warmth of someone canceling a subscription, and the 12 VIPs sitting around the mahogany table looked like they might be next. His reputation wasn't exaggerated. The Ice King of Manhattan corporate warfare had just executed the most brutal hostile takeover Wall Street had seen in 5 years, and he hadn't blinked once. If you think powerful men can't be terrified, you've never seen a room full of executives watch Ethan Kong decide their fate. But what happened 3 hours later would shatter that reputation in under 5 seconds, and he had no idea it was coming. The charity auction at the plaza was the kind of event where Manhattan's elite pretended to care about causes while really just showing off wealth. Ethan was there because his father demanded it, because Kim Industries needed the optics, because saying no to his father wasn't an option even at 31 years old. He stood near the bar, dark suit tailored to perfection, tattoo barely visible at his collar, a champagne flute he hadn't touched, and an expression that made people physically step back when they got too close. 3 VIPs from the earlier meeting were there. They saw him and looked like they'd seen a ghost. He didn't acknowledge them. Didn't need to. The fear was the point. "Mr. Kong," someone's wife said, trying to make conversation, and Ethan's cold stare had her stammering an apology and fleeing in under 10 seconds. This was his normal. This was who he'd become. The man who scared rooms into submission. The corporate killer who felt nothing. Then she walked past. A black woman in the standard server uniform, carrying a tray of champagne through the crowd with the kind of tired grace that came from working double shifts. Her natural hair was pulled back in twists, her dark skin glowing under the plaza's crystal chandeliers, and when someone made a rude comment about her needing to move faster, she smiled anyway. That smile. Professional, but real somehow. Like she'd decided being kind cost nothing even when people didn't deserve it. And Ethan felt heat crawl up his neck. Actual heat. His face was burning. He, Ethan Kong, the man who'd just destroyed 200 livelihoods without flinching, was blushing like a teenager because a waitress smiled near him. Not even at him. Just near him. One of the VIPs noticed. Ethan watched the man's eyes go wide. Watched him elbow his colleague, watched them stare at Ethan's face with something between shock and fascination. The Ice King was blushing. The corporate killer was having a human reaction. This would be all over Manhattan social circles by morning. Ethan turned away, jaw tight, trying to control his face, trying to understand what the hell just happened. But his eyes followed her anyway, tracked her as she moved through the crowd. Watched her handle entitled guests with patience he'd never possessed. Noticed the way she touched her lower back like it hurt. Saw her check her phone during a brief break and smile at something on the screen before tucking it away. And his heart was doing something it had never done before. Something uncomfortable and demanding and completely inconvenient. "Are you all right?" his assistant Thomas asked, appearing at his elbow with concern that bordered on fear. "You look, I'm fine," Ethan said, and his voice came out wrong. "Rough." Thomas stared. "You're never fine. You're efficient. Are you having a medical emergency? Should I call?" I said I'm fine. But Ethan wasn't fine. Because the waitress was leaving, heading toward the service entrance, and his feet moved before his brain approved the decision. He followed her. Actually followed her through the plaza like he had nothing better to do than chase service staff. Thomas made a strangled sound behind him, but Ethan didn't stop. Couldn't stop. The waitress pushed through a staff door, and Ethan caught it before it closed, following her into a bright hallway that smelled like industrial kitchen and expensive food. She turned, saw him, and her expression shifted from professional to wary in half a second. "Can I help you?" she asked, and her voice was careful, guarded. Ethan stopped. Because he had no idea what he was doing. No explanation for why he'd followed her. No reasonable excuse for being in a staff hallway. "You smiled," he said finally, and it was possibly the stupidest thing he'd ever said. She blinked. "I'm sorry. Earlier. At the auction. You smiled even though someone was rude to you." He sounded insane. He could hear it. That's part of the job, she said slowly, like she was talking to someone unstable. Smile. Serve. Don't react when people are assholes. Why? Ethan asked. She stared at him. Why what? Why smile when they don't deserve it? Something flickered in her eyes. Surprise maybe. Like no one had ever asked her that before. Because choosing to be kind costs me nothing, she said. And sometimes it costs them everything. Makes them realize they're the problem, not me. Ethan felt something crack in his chest. What's your name? Why do you want to know? She asked, and there was challenge in her voice now. Because I just followed a stranger into a staff hallway, and I'd like to at least know who witnessed me lose my mind. That surprised a laugh out of her. Small but real. And Ethan felt his face heat again. Taylor, she said finally. Taylor Brooks. And you're Ethan Kong. Everyone knows who you are. And what do they say? Ethan asked. That you're terrifying, Taylor said honestly. That you fire people like it's a hobby. That you've never smiled in your life, and probably don't have a soul. Accurate, Ethan said. Taylor's eyebrows rose. You're agreeing? I don't see the point in lying. Most rich men lie constantly, Taylor said. Usually to make themselves look better. I don't need to look better, Ethan said. I need to be effective. Well, you're definitely that, Taylor said. I heard about your takeover this morning. 200 people out of work before lunch. Very effective. There was judgment in her voice. Ethan should have been annoyed. Instead, he was fascinated. You disapprove. I don't know you well enough to approve or disapprove, Taylor said. But yeah, firing 200 people seems pretty cold. It was necessary, Ethan said. For who? Taylor challenged. The stockholders? Your bottom line? Definitely not the 200 people wondering how they'll pay rent. Ethan stared at her. No one talked to him like this. No one challenged him. No one looked at him with disappointment instead of fear. You're very judgmental for someone who knows nothing about business, he said. And you're very defensive for someone who claims not to care what people think, Taylor countered. Then her phone buzzed. She checked it, and her expression changed. Softened. Smiled at the screen. And Ethan felt something ugly twist in his chest. Boyfriend, he asked before he could stop himself. Taylor looked up, surprised. What? Whoever made you smile like that? That's none of your business, Taylor said, but she wasn't angry. Just amused. And I need to get back to work before I get fired for talking to guests in the hallway. I could make sure that doesn't happen, Ethan offered. I could also make sure it does happen faster, Taylor said. So maybe don't follow waitresses into staff areas, and you'll have one less thing to feel guilty about. She walked past him, back toward the auction, and Ethan stood in that hallway smelling like kitchens and feeling like he'd been hit by a truck. Thomas found him 2 minutes later. Sir, the auction is ending. Your father wants you to network with— Who is she? Ethan interrupted. Who is who? The waitress. Taylor Brooks. I want everything. Where she lives. Where she works. Everything. Thomas's expression went carefully blank. Sir, I know what it is, Ethan said. Do it anyway. What Ethan didn't know was that Taylor Brooks had exactly 53 days left in New York before she left for veterinary school in Texas. What he didn't know was that she'd sworn off wealthy men after her ex-boyfriend had used her and thrown her away. What he didn't know was that his father was already planning his arranged marriage to a woman arriving from Seoul in 6 weeks. But he was about to find out, and nothing would ever be the same. Ethan had Thomas's report by 10 a.m. the next morning. Taylor Brooks, 27, born and raised in Boston, working 3 part-time jobs while waiting for veterinary school to start in Austin, Texas. Acceptance letter received 4 months ago. Program started in 53 days. Graduate housing already secured. Non-refundable deposit paid. She worked events at the plaza twice a week, morning shifts at an animal clinic in Queens, and weekend shifts at a coffee shop in Brooklyn. No social media presence. No criminal record. No debt except student loans. A grandmother in Boston she called every Sunday. And absolutely no connection to Ethan's world. She was leaving. In 53 days. And Ethan was staring at those words like they were a countdown to something ending before it started. Sir, Thomas said carefully. Your 11 o'clock with the board is in 15 minutes. Cancel it, Ethan said. Sir, you can't. I can and I did. Cancel everything today. Thomas made a sound like he was dying. Mr. Kong, your father will. My father isn't me. Ethan said, standing. Where's the animal clinic? Which was how Ethan Kong, CEO of Kim Industries, found himself walking into a small veterinary clinic in Queens at noon on a Tuesday, carrying absolutely no reasonable explanation for being there. Taylor was behind the front desk, wearing scrubs with cartoon dogs on them, her hair in a high puff, looking up when the door chimed. Her eyes went wide. What are you doing here? She asked, and she didn't sound happy to see him. Ethan stopped. Because he'd prepared exactly zero cover story. A vet. Do you have a pet? Taylor asked slowly. No. Then why are you at a veterinary clinic? To see you, Ethan admitted. Taylor stared, then laughed. Actually laughed. You're insane. Probably, Ethan agreed. Have lunch with me. No. Why not? Because I'm working. Because you're a stranger. Because you're the kind of man who follows women to their workplace and thinks it's romantic instead of creepy. It's creepy, Ethan said. I know it's creepy. I'm not good at this. At what? Whatever this is, Ethan said, gesturing vaguely between them. Normal human interaction. Asking someone out without it being a corporate negotiation. Taylor's expression softened slightly. When's the last time you asked someone out? Never, Ethan said honestly. People ask me. I say yes or no. Usually no. Why? Because they want something from me, Ethan said. Money. Connections. Status. Never just me. And you think I'm different? Taylor asked. I think you called me soulless yesterday, Ethan said. That's definitely different. Taylor fought a smile. I have 30 minutes for lunch. There's a diner 2 blocks away. You can buy me a burger and explain why you're here. Victory felt strange. Ethan wasn't used to winning by being honest. The diner was exactly what Taylor promised. Cheap, crowded, smelling like grease and coffee. Ethan sat across from her in a cracked vinyl booth and felt more out of place than he'd ever felt in his life. You look like you've never seen a diner before, Taylor observed. I haven't, Ethan admitted. My father didn't believe in places like this. What did he believe in? Control. Excellence. Never showing weakness. Taylor studied him. Sounds exhausting. It was. Taylor ordered a burger. Ethan ordered coffee he wouldn't drink. And then they just looked at each other across a table that had seen better decades. Why are you really here? Taylor asked. I can't stop thinking about you, Ethan said. That's not an answer. It's the only one I have, Ethan said. You smiled and I blushed, and now I can't focus on work. Can't sleep. Can't think about anything except finding you again. That's concerning, Taylor said. You should probably see a therapist. Probably, Ethan agreed. But I'm here instead. Taylor's burger arrived. She took a bite, considered him while she chewed. I'm leaving New York in 53 days, she said finally. I know, Ethan said. You investigated me. I did. That's creepy too. I know. But you're being honest about it. Lying seems pointless, Ethan said. You already think I'm terrible. I think you're complicated, Taylor corrected. There's a difference. Is there? Terrible people don't blush, Taylor said. They don't follow waitresses into hallways and admit they've lost their minds. They don't show up at veterinary clinics with no excuse. Terrible people don't do vulnerable. I'm not vulnerable, Ethan said automatically. Taylor smiled. You're blushing right now. Ethan's hand went to his face. He was. Damn it. This is ridiculous, he muttered. This is human, Taylor said gently. Maybe try it sometime. They talked until her 30 minutes were up. About nothing important. Her dream of opening an animal rescue someday. His admission that he'd never had a pet. Her grandmother who taught her that kindness cost nothing. His father who taught him that kindness was weakness. And when Taylor stood to leave, Ethan didn't want her to go. Can I see you again? He asked. Taylor hesitated. Why? Because 53 days isn't very long, Ethan said. And I'd like to not waste them. Ethan, Taylor said, and his name in her voice did something to him. I'm leaving. For Texas. For vet school. That's not changing. I know. So what's the point? Maybe there doesn't need to be a point, Ethan said. Maybe it's enough to just want to know you while I can. Taylor looked at him for a long moment. You're going to make this complicated, aren't you? Probably, Ethan admitted. I'm not good at simple. Fine, Taylor said. But no more showing up at my work. You want to see me? You text like a normal person. I don't have your number. Taylor grabbed a napkin, wrote her number, slid it across the table. Now you do. Use it responsibly. She left. Ethan sat in that diner booth holding a napkin with her number and feeling something he'd never felt before. Hope maybe. Or terror. Possibly both. His phone rang. His father. Ethan ignored it. Texted Taylor instead. Thank you for lunch. Her response came 3 minutes later. You didn't eat anything. I was busy. Doing what? Memorizing your face. 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Appeared again. That's either really romantic or really creepy, and I haven't decided which. Ethan smiled. Actually smiled. Texted back. Can it be both? Apparently, Taylor wrote. Don't make me regret this. But Ethan's phone was already ringing again. His father. Then Thomas. Then his sister Claire. He answered Claire. Where are you? She demanded. Dad's losing his mind. The board meeting, I canceled it. Silence. Then, are you dying? Having a breakdown? Please tell me what's happening before Dad has an actual stroke. I met someone, Ethan said. More silence. You what? I met someone. A woman. And I can't think about anything else. Ethan, Claire said carefully. You don't meet people. You acquire them. What's really going on? I'm trying to figure that out, Ethan admitted. But Claire, she's leaving in 53 days. For Texas. And I don't know what to do. Do you even like her? I think I might be falling in love with her, Ethan said. And saying it out loud made it real. Terrifyingly real. Claire was quiet. Then, Dad's going to kill you. You know that, right? He's already planning your engagement to Minjun's daughter. She arrives in 6 weeks. Ethan had forgotten. His arranged marriage. The deal his father made. The future that was decided without his input. I don't want to marry her, Ethan said. I want someone you just met, Claire finished. Someone who's leaving. Ethan, this is insane. I know. But you're doing it anyway. I am. Claire sighed. Then you better make these 53 days count. Because when Dad finds out, there will be hell to pay. She hung up. Ethan stared at his phone. At Taylor's number. At the countdown that had already started. 53 days to figure out if this was real or if he was losing his mind. 53 days before she left for a dream she wouldn't give up. 53 days before his father's plan crashed into his impossible want. But for the first time in his life, Ethan Kong was choosing something for himself. And he had no idea if it would destroy him. Taylor agreed to dinner. Actually agreed. Ethan picked her up at her Brooklyn apartment on Friday night, and when she came downstairs in a simple black dress and sneakers, looking nothing like the women he usually saw at events, he forgot how to speak. You're staring, Taylor said. You're beautiful, Ethan said. Taylor blinked. Did you just give me a compliment without making it weird? I'm trying, Ethan admitted. She smiled. Where are we going? Wherever you want. I want tacos, Taylor said. Real ones. Not the fancy kind rich people pretend to like. So Ethan took her to a taco truck in Queens that Thomas found, and they ate standing up under street lights while traffic blurred past, and it was the best meal Ethan had ever had. You've really never done this, Taylor observed, watching him struggle with an overstuffed taco. Done what? Normal. Just existing like a regular person. My father didn't allow normal, Ethan said. Everything was training for business. Every meal was networking. Every moment was strategic. That sounds lonely, Taylor said quietly. It was, Ethan admitted. Until now. Taylor looked at him. Really looked. Ethan, I need you to understand something. I'm leaving. For Texas. In 49 days. That's not negotiable. Vet school is everything I've worked for. I know. So what are we doing? She asked. What is this? I don't know, Ethan said honestly. But I know I want to spend those 49 days with you. However that looks. You're going to make this hurt, Taylor said. When I leave? When this ends? It's going to hurt. Probably, Ethan agreed. But I think not trying would hurt more. They walked through Queens. Talked about everything. Taylor told him about growing up in Boston, about her grandmother who raised her, about the day she decided to become a vet after finding an injured dog in an alley. Ethan told her about his father's impossible expectations, about becoming CEO at 28, about the loneliness of being feared instead of known. Do you like it? Taylor asked. Your job, your life, any of it. No one had ever asked him that. No, Ethan admitted. But I don't know what else I'd be. Maybe that's the problem, Taylor said. You're so busy being what everyone expects that you forgot to figure out what you want. I want you, Ethan said. Taylor stopped walking. You barely know me. I know you smile at people who don't deserve it. I know you work 3 jobs to chase your dream. I know you called me soulless and made me want to prove you wrong. I know that when you laugh, something in my chest stops hurting. That's enough. Ethan, I know it's fast, he interrupted. I know it doesn't make sense. I know I'm probably scaring you. But I've spent my entire life being careful and strategic and controlled, and it made me miserable. So I'm choosing this. I'm choosing you. For however long you'll let me. Taylor was quiet. Then, 49 days. I'll take it, Ethan said. My father's planning an arranged marriage for me, Ethan said suddenly. What? Taylor said. In 6 weeks. A woman from Seoul. My father made a deal with her family. I'm supposed to marry her. Taylor's expression hardened. And you're here with me? Because I don't want that life, Ethan said. I want this one. With you. Even if it's temporary. That's not fair to her, Taylor said. Or to me. Or to anyone. I know, Ethan said. But I'm going to end it. I'm going to tell my father no. You can't just. I can, Ethan said. I'm choosing to. They stood on a Queens sidewalk under broken streetlights, and Taylor looked at him like she was trying to solve a puzzle. You're really willing to blow up your entire life for someone you just met? Yes, Ethan said simply. You're insane, Taylor said. Probably, Ethan agreed. Is that a deal breaker? Taylor laughed, shook her head. I'm going to regret this. Probably, Ethan said again. But will you try anyway? Taylor stepped closer, looked up at him. 49 days. That's all I can promise. Then I'll make them count. Ethan said, and when he kissed her, gentle and asking instead of taking, Taylor kissed him back. Started something that had an expiration date. Began something that would probably break them both. But for 49 days, they'd be real. The next morning, Ethan's father called an emergency family meeting. His sister Claire was already there when Ethan arrived at the family estate in Connecticut, looking nervous. His father sat at the head of the table like a judge. I hear you've been canceling meetings, his father said. No greeting. Just accusation. I have, Ethan confirmed. And chasing a woman who works at a veterinary clinic. Ethan didn't ask how he knew. His father always knew everything. Her name is Taylor. I don't care what her name is, his father said. Minjun's daughter arrives in 4 weeks. You will meet her. You will court her properly. You will marry her as agreed. No, Ethan said. The room went silent. What did you say? His father asked, voice dangerous. I said no, Ethan repeated. I'm not marrying someone I don't know to seal a business deal. I'm done living the life you planned. You're done? His father repeated. You think you have a choice? I'm 31 years old, Ethan said. I've run your company for 3 years. Increased revenue by 40%. Made you richer than you ever were. So yes, I think I've earned the right to choose who I marry. You'll choose correctly, his father said. Or you'll choose to lose everything. Your position. Your inheritance. Everything I built. Claire made a sound. Dad, that's... Stay out of this, their father snapped. Then, to Ethan, this waitress. This nobody. She's leaving anyway. Thomas told me. For school in Texas. So you're willing to destroy everything for someone who won't even stay? Yes, Ethan said. His father stood. Then you're a fool. And I raised no fools. End it with her. Meet Minjun's daughter. Or I invoke the clause and remove you from the company entirely. The clause. The succession clause. The one that existed in his father's will. But this was real. Do it, Ethan said quietly. His father's eyes widened. What? Invoke the clause. Remove me. I'll survive. You'll be nothing, his father said. I'll be free, Ethan corrected. He walked out, left his father standing in shock, left Claire staring, left everything he'd built. For a woman leaving in 49 days. And he didn't regret it for a second. Taylor found out about the family meeting from a news article. Kim Industries' heir defies father, emergency board vote scheduled, was trending by that afternoon. She called Ethan immediately. What did you do? What I should have done years ago, Ethan said. Ethan, the article says your father's calling an emergency board vote to remove you from the company. He's trying to, Ethan said. The vote's in 72 hours. Because of me. Silence. Ethan, it's not because of you, Ethan said. It's because of me. Finally choosing what I want instead of what he wants. I'm leaving in 46 days, Taylor said, voice breaking. You're destroying your life for something that has an end date. Maybe it doesn't have to end, Ethan said. Taylor was quiet. What? Come to Texas with me, Ethan said. What? After your program starts. I'll come to Austin. We'll figure it out. Ethan, you can't just abandon New York. Why not? He asked. What's keeping me here? A father who sees me as property? A company that only values me for my last name? A life I never wanted. But your sister, your friends, everything you've built. I built it because I was told to, Ethan said. Not because I wanted it. Taylor, I've spent 31 years being who everyone expected. I'm tired. I want to be someone who makes you smile. That's enough. You barely know me, Taylor whispered. Then let me learn, Ethan said. 46 days. Let me prove this is real. Taylor was crying. This is insane. I know. You're going to regret this. I won't. Ethan, do you feel it? He interrupted. This thing between us. Tell me I'm crazy. Tell me you don't feel it too. Taylor was quiet for a long moment. I feel it, she admitted. And it terrifies me. Good, Ethan said. Let's be terrified together. They met that night at Taylor's apartment. Her roommate Keisha took one look at Ethan and pulled Taylor aside. Girl, that's the man from the news. The one who just blew up his whole life. I know, Taylor said. You've known him for what, a week? 10 days. And he's ready to move to Texas for you. I know it sounds crazy. It is crazy, Keisha said. But I've never seen you look at anyone like this. So either he's the real deal, or you're both having a shared delusion. Can it be both? Taylor asked. Keisha laughed. Hugged her. Just be careful. Rich men don't usually give up everything for love. They give up the girl instead. But when Taylor went back to Ethan, she saw how he looked at her. Like she was oxygen. Like he'd been drowning his whole life, and finally found air. My roommate thinks we're insane, Taylor said. We probably are, Ethan admitted. But I don't care. They spent that night talking. Really talking. Ethan told her about the pressure of being heir to an empire he never wanted. About his mother dying when he was 12. About becoming cold because emotion was punished. About forgetting how to feel anything until a waitress smiled and broke every wall he'd built. Taylor told him about her ex-boyfriend. The wealthy man who'd pursued her, promised her everything, then discarded her when his family disapproved. About swearing off rich men forever. About almost not giving Ethan a chance. About being terrified this would end the same way. I'm not him, Ethan said quietly. I know, Taylor said. But I'm still scared. So am I, Ethan admitted. I've never felt like this. Never wanted something this badly. Never been willing to lose everything for someone. It's terrifying. What if I break your heart? Taylor asked. What if you realize in 3 months that you gave up everything for someone who can't give you what you need? Then I'll survive, Ethan said. But I'd rather take that risk than spend my life wondering what if. 3 days later, Ethan's father made his move. The emergency board meeting happened as scheduled. Official documents delivered by courier afterward. Board of Trustees vote. Ethan Kong removed as CEO of Kim Industries effective in 30 days pending transition. Corporate attorneys. Filing motions to freeze certain assets pending ownership review. His father had actually done it. He's serious, Claire said when she showed up at Ethan's apartment. The vote passed. 7-5. Dad's people won. I know. Ethan said, reading the documents. Then fight back, Claire said. You have lawyers. Options. The minority board members want a contest. Don't just roll over. Why not? Ethan asked. What am I fighting for? A job I hate. A father who sees me as a chess piece? Claire, I'm done. But what about your future? My future is in Texas, Ethan said. With Taylor. Claire stared. You've known her for less than 2 weeks. I know. This is insane. Everyone keeps saying that. Because it is. Claire said. Ethan, you're throwing away everything for a woman who's leaving anyway. What happens when the novelty wears off? When you realize you gave up your entire life for a relationship that might not last? Then I'll deal with it, Ethan said. But I won't spend my life being my father's puppet anymore. Claire was quiet. Then, she must be really special. She is, Ethan said simply. Then go, Claire said. To Texas. With her. Be happy. Someone in this family should be. Ethan hugged his sister. Thank you. Don't thank me yet, Claire said. Dad's not done. He's planning something. I don't know what, but I know that look. She was right. A week later, Taylor got a visitor at work. An elegant Korean woman in expensive clothes. Minjun's daughter. The woman Ethan was supposed to marry. You must be Taylor, she said. Her English was perfect. Her smile was cold. And you must be the woman I've never met who thinks she owns Ethan, Taylor said. The woman's smile didn't waver. I'm Una, and I'm here to make you an offer. I don't want anything you're offering, Taylor said. They were standing outside the veterinary clinic. Taylor's lunch break. Una looking completely out of place in designer everything. You haven't heard it yet, Una said. Let me guess, Taylor said. Money to disappear? A threat about how I'll never fit in his world? Some variation of he'll get bored of you eventually? Actually, Una said, I was going to thank you. Taylor stopped. What? You broke the engagement I never wanted, Una said. My father and Ethan's father arranged this marriage. Neither of us had a choice. I was coming to New York to marry a stranger because that's what dutiful daughters do. And then you happened. Ethan refused. The deal fell apart. And I'm free. So why are you here? Taylor asked. To warn you, Una said. Ethan's father isn't done. He's planning something. I don't know what, but I know he doesn't accept defeat. And Taylor, men like that, they don't fight fair. What do you think he'll do? Whatever it takes to get his son back, Una said. Even if it means destroying what Ethan loves most. She left. Taylor stood there feeling cold despite the afternoon sun. That night, Taylor told Ethan about the visit. She seemed genuine, Taylor said. Like she was actually trying to help. Una's decent, Ethan said. It's her father and mine who are the problem. What do you think your father's planning? I don't know, Ethan admitted. But Claire's right. He won't let this go. They were in Ethan's apartment. 39 days until Taylor left for Austin. 39 days of pretending they had forever when they both knew they didn't. I got my housing assignment, Taylor said quietly. For vet school. It's a small apartment near campus. 1 bedroom. That's good, Ethan said, but his voice was tight. Ethan, I'm happy for you, he said. Really, this is your dream. But I'm also terrified, Ethan admitted. Of losing you. Of you getting to Texas and realizing you don't need me. Of this ending before I'm ready. I'm terrified too, Taylor said. Of how much I feel. Of how fast this happened. Of giving my heart to someone who might break it. I won't, Ethan said. You don't know that. I do, Ethan said. Taylor, I've never felt like this. Never wanted anything the way I want you. Never been willing to give up everything for someone. That's not something that just goes away. But what if it's not enough? Taylor asked. What if we're just caught up in the intensity and when real life hits, we fall apart? Then we fall apart, Ethan said. But at least we tried. They made love that night. Slow and desperate and tender. Like they were trying to memorize each other. Like they knew time was running out. Over the next 2 weeks, Ethan's father made his moves. Not one dramatic gesture. A slow campaign. Taylor's hours at the plaza got cut. No explanation. Just budget constraints. Then her weekend coffee shop shifts mysteriously dried up. We're overstaffed, they said. Her clinic job remained, But she noticed interviews for other positions going nowhere. Not instant rejections, just promising starts that fizzled. Second interviews that never came. It's taking me a lot longer to find backup work than it should, Taylor told Keisha one night. That's weird, Keisha said. You're overqualified for most of these places. I know, Taylor said. But she knew. Ethan's father was making her life difficult. Slowly, subtly, not buying buildings. Just making calls. Using influence. Creating obstacles. Then came the notice. Her clinic's landlord was tripling the rent with 60 days' notice. Legal, but devastating. We can't afford it, Dr. Martinez said, looking exhausted. We're going to have to close. I'm so sorry, Taylor. Taylor called Ethan. The clinic is closing. Landlord tripled the rent out of nowhere. Ethan was quiet. Then, my father. I know, Taylor said. But it's legal. There's nothing you can do. I can talk to him. I can. No. Taylor interrupted. That's what he wants. Me dependent on you. Me needing you to fix things. I won't give him that. So what do we do? Ethan asked, and he sounded lost. I figure it out, Taylor said. I have the animal rescue job. I'll pick up more hours. I have my savings. I can make it work for 35 more days. Then I'm in Texas anyway. Taylor, I'm not giving up, she said firmly. On you. On us. Your father wants me gone. He can try harder. She hung up. Spent the next days scrambling. The animal rescue increased her hours, but it still wasn't enough. She called her grandmother. Baby, what's wrong? Her grandmother asked. Taylor told her everything. The man. The father. The impossible situation. Do you love him? Her grandmother asked. I think I do, Taylor said. Even though it's fast. Even though it's complicated. Yes. Then fight, her grandmother said. Not the father. Not the money. Fight for what you and that boy have. Real love doesn't come around often. And when it does, you don't let other people's fear destroy it. But how? You're smart, her grandmother said. You'll figure it out. You always do. Taylor did figure it out. Borrowed money from Keisha. Sold some textbooks. Made it work. Barely. But she made it work. When Ethan found out, he was furious. You're struggling because of me. Because of my father. I'm surviving because of me, Taylor corrected. Because I'm strong enough to handle this. Don't you see? If I let you fix it, he wins. He proves I'm using you. But if I get through this myself, I prove him wrong. 28 days left. Ethan's father played what he thought was his final card. Showed up at the animal rescue where Taylor worked. Miss Brooks, he said. Cold and controlled. We need to talk. We really don't, Taylor said. I can make your life very difficult, he said. You already have. I can make it worse, he said. Or I can make it very easy. Leave my son. Take this check. Disappear. Everyone wins. He slid an envelope across the counter. Taylor didn't touch it. You think I'm with him for money. Everyone's with everyone for money, his father said. Don't pretend you're different. I love him, Taylor said simply. And he loves me. That's real. I'm sorry you've never experienced that. I'm sorry you're so broken that you can't recognize it. But I'm not going anywhere. He'll resent you eventually, his father said. For making him give up his birthright. For dragging him to Texas. For being the reason he lost everything. Maybe, Taylor said. But that's his choice to make. Not yours. Ethan's father stared at her. Then picked up the envelope. You'll regret this. The only thing I regret, Taylor said, is that Ethan had to grow up with a father who taught him love was weakness. He left. Taylor's hands were shaking. But she didn't cry. 18 days. Ethan helped Taylor pack. Her whole life fitting into 2 suitcases and 3 boxes. I can't believe this is real, Taylor said. That you're actually coming with me. Did you think I'd change my mind? Ethan asked. I thought reality would hit, Taylor admitted. That you'd realize what you're giving up. I'm not giving up anything that matters, Ethan said. I'm gaining everything I want. 12 days. Taylor's grandmother came to visit. Met Ethan for the first time. Looked him over with shrewd eyes. You love my granddaughter? She asked. More than anything, Ethan said. You're giving up a lot for her. I'm trading a life I hated for a chance at happiness, Ethan said. That's not a sacrifice. That's a gift. Taylor's grandmother smiled. You'll do. 7 days. Ethan's father made one last attempt. Called a family meeting. Demanded Ethan attend. Claire called to warn him. Don't go. It's a trap. But Ethan went anyway. Walked into his father's office for what he knew would be the last time. I'm prepared to offer you everything, his father said. Full reinstatement. A raise. Complete control of the company. If you end it with her. No, Ethan said. You're choosing poverty over power? I'm choosing love over loneliness, Ethan corrected. Something you've never understood. I loved your mother, his father said, and there was something raw in his voice. I loved her and she died and it broke me. Is that what you want? To love someone so much that losing them destroys you? Yes, Ethan said. Because loving like that means you actually lived. You've been dead inside since Mom died. I refuse to do the same. His father was silent. Then go. If this is your choice, go. But don't come back when it falls apart. I won't need to, Ethan said. Because it won't. He walked out. Left his father. Left his old life. Left everything he'd been for everything he wanted to be. 2 days before Taylor's departure, they were in her empty apartment. Everything packed. Ready to go. Are you scared? Taylor asked. Terrified, Ethan admitted. Of what? That I'm not enough, he said. That you'll get to Austin and realize I'm just a man who gave up everything and has nothing to offer you except myself. Yourself is everything I want, Taylor said. Are you sure? Ethan, Taylor said. You scared VIPs. Fired hundreds of people. Built an empire. And you blushed when I smiled. You followed me to a staff hallway. Showed up at my work with no excuse. Gave up everything your father built because you chose love over fear. You're more than enough. They left for Austin on a Tuesday morning. Drove because Ethan wanted the time. Wanted the journey. Wanted to start their new life deliberately instead of rushing. 22 hours in a car. Talking about everything. Planning their future. Making promises. They arrived in Austin on Wednesday night. Taylor's tiny graduate housing apartment. 1 bedroom. Barely enough room for 2 people. Perfect. This is it, Taylor said. Our new start. Our new life, Ethan corrected. He'd already interviewed for jobs. Nothing glamorous. Management consulting. Small firms. Using his business degree for something that didn't require family connections. Taylor started vet school 2 days later. Came home exhausted. Found Ethan cooking dinner. Badly, but trying. This is terrible, Taylor said, tasting his attempt at pasta. I know, Ethan said. I'm learning. This is our life now, Taylor said. Small apartment. No money. Starting over. Is it enough? Ethan asked. Taylor pulled him close. Kissed him. It's everything. 6 months later, Taylor was thriving in school. Ethan had a job. He actually enjoyed working as a senior consultant. They'd visited his sister Claire twice. His father hadn't called once. And Ethan didn't miss it. 1 year later, Ethan proposed. Not with an expensive ring. With a simple band he'd saved for. On a random Tuesday. While Taylor was studying. Marry me, he said. What? Marry me. Make this permanent. Choose me every day for the rest of your life, like I choose you. You're insane, Taylor said. But she was crying. Smiling. Is that a yes? Yes, you absolute fool. Yes. They got married at a courthouse in Austin. Claire flew in. Taylor's grandmother. A handful of friends. Small and simple and perfect. Ethan's father sent a card. Just 3 words. I was wrong. 2 years after leaving New York, Taylor graduated top of her class. Ethan's consulting firm promoted him to director with an equity stake. They bought a small house